from the BBC World Service in association with ABC and Akashvani. This is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Alison Mitchell in London and spent quite a bit of time car hunting this week. My old vehicle's sort of getting to the end of time, so time to replace it with a new one. And also then, since we last spoke on Stumped, there's been quite a bit of news for England cricket fans to digest, and we'll be getting into that on the programme.
Hello from Sydney, Jim Maxwell for the ABC here. And Ali, you should go to where I've been for the last week, Lord Howe Island, about 350 miles out there in the Pacific. It's actually part of New South Wales. It's about 5 miles long and a mile wide, and it's got 300 inhabitants and sometimes some tourists, but it's a pristine place, just beautiful, subtropical, and it was fantastic. And you wouldn't have to worry too much about a car there. You can have one, but you'll get around on a bike quite easily.
Perfect.
I didn't see any horses. But I did see a lot of bikes. So that's where I've been, and nice to be back sharing the show with you.
Nice to have you back. I'll add it to my list.
Well, you probably need a car where I am. Hello, this is Charu Sharma for Akashvani, once again in Dubai, and once again carrying on my work with the radio broadcast of the IPL, which can really consume you. It's a long tournament. Although in the middle, I have had opportunity to go to Kochi to assist with the launch of a new football league in Kerala, a very popular sport there. And later this weekend, I'll be going to Sri Lanka to do the player auction for the Sri Lanka Premier League. So I do get away, but of course, otherwise it's been the heat of Dubai and the heat of the IPL as it reaches its business end.
Yep, the IPL is certainly hotting up. Good to see you both. Later on the show, we're going to hear from the former Pakistan captain Bisma Maroof on her decision to retire from the game before the T20 World Cup. But first on Stumped, we heard news this week that felt quite shocking and unexpected, but perhaps we really should have been expecting it. 41-year-old Jimmy Anderson, arguably the greatest pace bowler the game has seen, will retire from international cricket after the first test against the West Indies in July. The Englishman is the leading wicket taker amongst all fast bowlers in Test history. He made his debut in 2003 and will go into his final game with 700 Test wickets under his belt in 187 matches. He's third on the all-time list behind spinners Matthias Muralitharan and the late great Shane Warne. But his decision to retire wasn't entirely of his own making. Last month, the head coach of the England men's test team, Brendan McCullum, flew into the country from New Zealand for talks with Anderson about his future. The meeting included captain Ben Stokes and managing director of England men's cricket, Rob Key. Now, Jim, Anderson does seem to be at peace with this decision now. He mentioned that the retirement question had been something that was, asked over and over again since he turned 30. Do you think once he gets to Lord's, he'll be able to bowl with his customary skill, hopefully a great amount of enjoyment in a last ever test match, or could the emotion of the occasion get to him?
He's pretty stable, calm fellow. I don't think the emotion of the occasion will get to him. It'll be there. But given the wonderful bowling we've seen from him in many places, particularly at Lord's, he'll be hoping that it's overcast and it's a bit green and the ball starts to get around a bit. We don't want one of those Bazball flat pitches for him, do we? Because he's had a fairly quiet time in the last part of his career. Nothing like Stuart Broad, who I think took over 35 wickets in his last 8 tests. So he'd like to go out in style, and he deserves that. And against the West Indies, well, he might. He might do that, particularly if the Duke's ball is doing what it does.
Exactly. Charu, if we think about some of the past greats and their retirements, how much of a privilege is it to be able to choose when to bow out of the game?
Well, that's the ultimate, isn't it? Because I don't think Australia, from whatever little I know, Australians are given such a privilege. They just said, well, you're out next. Come in. But in India, of course, it's quite the reverse, where a lot of the senior players particularly, well, one or two, say, like Ganguly might have a problem with the way he was asked to leave, but the rest have virtually chosen where and when. They've all been given, the greats that is, the privilege of perhaps leaving on their home ground and just exactly when they wished, even though the final part of their career at times wasn't glittering. But just very quickly about Jimmy Anderson, from whatever little we heard, he didn't really seem upset. So obviously he realized that, the sun was setting, and I don't quite know about his body because he had such a fabulous, repeatable action. He could potentially carry on for many years.
Still extremely fit, yeah.
Well, exactly. And this whole hurry about, who next. I think if somebody's performing, and if you don't look at the age, and if he's getting wickets for you and not giving too many runs away, one would probably carry on. But yeah, the end had to come. And as long as he doesn't have any real ill feeling in the manner, because it was discussed after all, I think even the privilege of a discussion with the brass is actually not bad, rather than just being reading about in the papers the next day saying, oh, I'm not being selected for the team anymore.
Well, next on Stumped, it's a new era for the Pakistan women's team after their talismanic captain retired from international cricket. Bisma Maroof made a huge impact both on and off the field. Over an international career spanning 17 years, she played in 12 World Cups and captained Pakistan in 96 matches. She retires as the leading run scorer for her country in both T20 and one-day internationals. But maybe her biggest achievements came off the field after giving birth in August 2021. This prompted the Pakistan Cricket Board to implement a first ever maternity clause in central contracts for women cricketers that allocated paid maternity leave. After having her daughter, Maroof returned to captain the side in March 2022 before retiring a little over 2 years later in the middle of a series against the West Indies and less than 6 months away from the T20 World Cup. Well, I've been speaking to her about her career, and I also asked if she was comfortable with her decision to retire when she has.
For a cricketer, it was never an easy decision. And of course, it was a tough for me and for, of course, my family as well. And very emotional at the same time for me, family, and for the teammates as well. I think it was quite emotional time. But I think on the other hand, if I see myself in the phase of my life where I'm standing, and I think that is the time to move away from cricket and give more time to my family.
But was it something that you'd been thinking about for a while? Because it felt from the outside as if it was quite a sudden, certainly a decision that shocked and surprised many.
Yeah, it was a decision that I was thinking quite a lot, few times before as well. But because the World Cup was around the corner, and I think that will give more time to the team as well to rebuild before the World Cup. So I believe that this series was the right time to move away after the one days. And I think everyone in my family, they also think and give me the positive sign that, yeah, I can move away from cricket right now.
Was the World Cup not a bit of a carrot, though, to keep going until September, October and have one last crack in Bangladesh?
I have think about that. Many were saying that I should have played the World Cup, but yeah, I respect that their opinions and suggestions. But overall, if I look standing in my life, I think that was for me. I think it was a tough decision to make at that time, and I hope that will be the right decision that I have made.
Now, I know that you had been in a car accident just prior to that West Indies series. And I don't know how much you would want to talk about that. But I just wondered whether that had any impact on your decision to retire and whether you want to say what happened at all in that accident.
Not really. Actually, that accident has given me a bit of shock that might I have to reconsider my decision. But I've discussed with my family, and they give me the positive energy and said that yeah, this is the right time. You can take the decision.
How do you reflect on your international career then? Do you see yourself? Do you feel you retire as a pioneer, having particularly opened doors for future generations of women from Pakistan to combine motherhood with being an international cricketer?
The love I've got after my motherhood, I think that was amazing, and I couldn't be more thankful. I didn't know when I was coming after the motherhood that I'll get so much response from the people. It was, amazing, and yeah, that give me that. I have done something, and now I should, inspire other people, other girls with my actions that, girls can do everything.
I mean, you spoke, I remember when you came on Stumped in 2022, you'd just returned to international cricket after having your daughter Fatima. You spoke then about the support that the PCB had given at that time. Had they continued to be supportive over the next couple of years?
Yeah. The support I got from the board, I think that was very, very important. Otherwise, I think it would have been very difficult for me to continue. I'm very much thankful to them. The support I got from them, they were all, every time they were ready, whatever I asked for my motherhood, and they were all ready, to adjust me at my, convenient. So I'm very much thankful to them.
Is Fatima showing signs of having good hand-eye coordination at the moment? Is she getting interested
Yeah,
in
she
cricket?
is.
Yeah.
She is very good. She is very good catcher, and I believe she is a very
Ah,
good bowler. She don't like
excellent.
to bat much, but yeah, she likes to bowl.
Brilliant. You also spoke then when we had you on Stumped about your hopes of a Pakistan Super League for women starting up 3 or 4 teams in Pakistan. Do you still believe that is a possibility? Because it hasn't yet happened, has it?
Yeah, we have just played exhibition matches, and after that, we haven't got our exhibition matches or league started. I think that was a very setback for us because I believe that exhibition matches has given us the the platform for the
This is
youngsters,
the
especially.
Amazon versus Super Women, isn't it?
Yeah, to to share the experience with international players, and of course for us to play with them on the pitch. I think we have shared a lot of thoughts with them, then insights with them, and that has given us the confidence as well, and we have learned a lot from them. I think for the youngsters it was a great platform, but I think that was setback. And I hope they shall start our league as soon as possible, because our much of our cricketers are not playing in the leagues, I think, and around the world all the players are playing in the league, and you have seen the improvement in their games as well. I think that is the lacking we have for the Pakistan players, and if we got our league, I think that will give us a platform to improve our skills, and we can improve as an individual as well as a team.
Well, the team are in England at the moment touring. What are your hopes for this group now and with the T20 World Cup in Bangladesh coming up?
They have got plenty of matches before the World Cup, and they can set a right combination before the World Cup, and they will get to know who will be their best 11. And I think right kind of strategies and planning. I think because World Cup is a very high pressure game. You'll get every game is very high pressure, so you'll be spot on. And I think and I hope that these girls can have a good time there and put up a good show for the Pakistan.
And what are your plans now? Are you going to stay within cricket somehow? Do you feel, I mean, you have seen the game surely in Pakistan, it's transformed, hasn't it? If you compare back to when you first came into it, how can you describe where Pakistan women's cricket is now compared to when you began?
It has come a long way, and there's a lot of difference. When we started, I think women's cricket, not everybody knows about women's cricket, and there was not much acceptance for us. But now there's a lot of acceptance, a lot of fan following along the world. Social media, everybody is talking about us. I think that is a big change, and for me especially, what we have changed in Pakistan, and of course the input, the all the former players have played a major part in that. That the parents are allowing their daughters to play. That is a big change, and I think that is achievement for all the players that have put in a hard yard there.
So it's sort of a generational thing, do you think? And then as as you are now a mother, your generation has shifted attitudes again to pass down to the even younger ones coming up.
Yeah, of course. I think if even Fatma, if you look at the Fatma, she has grown up and in the ground actually.
Yeah. In the
And
dressing room practically.
in the dressing room actually. So yeah, that is a big a change we are seeing in Pakistan, and uh, a lot of young people who are in schools, and then they have inspired, and their parents came to me and said that We are allowing their daughters just because what you have done and given us the encouragement that, they all can do that. And I think that is a special moment for me.
And so your future plans moving forward from here in your international retirement phase?
Honestly, I haven't thought anything about that. I just want to give more time to my family, and yeah, in future we'll see what is what my interest going there, and what the opportunities are ahead for me.
Well, I'm sure we'll see you around and about cricket before too long, because it's such a huge part of your life and has been. Bisma, congratulations on your international career and good luck.
Thank you.
Whatever you decide to do work-wise, enjoy the time with your family.
Thank you, Ali.
Well, that was Bisma Maroof, who has retired from Pakistan cricket. Charu, you'll remember when we had her on Stumped 2 years ago and you were interviewing her, and she said, about the work that the women's team have done. I mean, it's so good to see the strides that women's cricket in that country has made.
Well, she is certainly a trailblazer, and I was so pleasantly surprised at the Pakistan Cricket Board. Administratively, they've been up and down, should we say, in terms of excellence, but the fact that they started a maternity leave situation earlier than many other boards and allowed her to go back to that World Cup. And I remember the Indian team and many other teams surrounding Bisma and Fatima and just squealing and giggling at the fact that, there's a little child in and around the field. I mean, that's a wonderful development in the game. It was wonderful hearing her and all the rapid strides that Pakistan cricket has taken. And the news about the fact that parents are now, you can't imagine, Ali, Jim, just the differences in cultural situations, especially with women in different parts of the world. And for any country to now be waking up to the fact that, yes, we should allow women to do a lot more in the world of sport is fabulous news. And Pakistan, I do believe, has the DNA to produce some very good sports persons. They just need that, permission to begin with, and then, of course, all the support. So I hope that happens, because there's no doubt that Pakistan, like the men's team, I mean, they have the potential to beat anyone on their day. So too, hopefully, the women very soon.
Yeah, they've still got a bit of climbing to do up the rankings, Jim, haven't they? But it's so good to have seen that progression, and Bisma ideally placed to have charted it across the course of her career.
Yes, well, the women's game keeps evolving and developing, and it's wonderful to see the opportunities they're getting. And it may be, as Charu mentioned, significant for so many more people in those societies to build on what's occurring by way of the development through sport, through cricket in particular, and what can be done. So sport is showing the way, and women's cricket very, very strongly, probably one of the strongest and most influential things that has occurred in the game of cricket in the last 20 years.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stump. So I'll say thanks to Jim Maxwell and to Charu Sharma and to all of you. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.